My name is Tara Beaulieu. I'm 31 years old. On the night I graduated from the University of Ottawa, my mother stood up at the restaurant and clinked her wine glass with a butter knife. But the announcement wasn't about me. It was about my older sister, Sloane, who had just been offered a residency at the University of Toronto's Department of Surgery. My mother beamed at the table, 14 family members, 2 of my father's co-workers, and my grandmother's neighbour, who I'd met once. She said, "We always knew Sloane was destined for extraordinary things." Then she looked at me and added, "And Tara finished her degree too. Social work. Very sweet." She said it the way you'd compliment a child's finger painting. I didn't cry, I didn't leave the table. I sat there and ate my creme brulee and memorized every single face that smiled along with her. They think I vanished because I couldn't handle being second best. They're wrong. I vanished because I finally understood there was no amount of effort that would ever change the scoreboard in a game they'd been rigging since I was 6 years old. 8 years later, my parents sent Sloane to find me. What she discovered made them realize the daughter they'd written off was the only one who could save them. But by then, I'd already decided they weren't worth saving. Let me go back, not to the graduation, to the winter I turned 7. December 1999, Sloane was 10. We lived in a split level in Barhaven, South Ottawa, the kind of neighbourhood where every driveway had a minivan and every family went to the same Tim Hortons after Saturday morning hockey. My father sold commercial insurance for Manulife. My mother taught grade 3 at a Catholic school. We were comfortable, not rich, but comfortable enough that Christmas was always a production. That year I made my mother a card. I spent 3 days on it. Cut out snowflakes glued onto blue construction paper, glitter pen, the whole thing. Inside I wrote, "To the best mom in the whole world, love Tara." I practiced the cursive 4 times before I got it right. Christmas morning, she opened it, smiled, said, "Oh, that's lovely, sweetie," and set it on the coffee table. Then Sloane handed her a small box. Inside was a ceramic ornament. Sloane had painted at a craft fair. A cardinal on a branch. My mother actually gasped. She held it up to the light. "Sloane, this is museum quality. You have such an eye." She hung it on the tree immediately. Front and centre. My card ended up under a pile of wrapping paper. I found it in the recycling bin 3 days later. The glitter pen had smudged. I learned something that morning. It mattered who made it. Sloane wasn't cruel about it. That's what made it worse. She saw it happening. She always saw it. After the ornament moment, she found me in my room and handed me one of her candy canes, the big kind, peppermint, from the tree. "Your card was really pretty," she said. She meant it. She was 10 years old and she already knew our parents had chosen a favourite and she already felt guilty about it. The pattern didn't stop, it accelerated. May 2004. Sloane won first place at the Regional Science Fair. Poster board on antibiotic resistance. The Ottawa Citizen ran a small photo. My parents had it framed and hung it in the hallway right next to the front door where every visitor could see it. That same spring, I placed second in a citywide essay contest. Topic was, "What community means to me." The teacher said it was one of the best she'd read in 20 years. My parents didn't attend the ceremony. My father said he had a client dinner. My mother said she had marking to do. I took the bus home alone, holding my certificate in a plastic bag so the rain wouldn't wreck it. I heard my mother on the phone that evening, talking to my aunt in Gatineau. "Sloane's photo is in the Citizen. We're just over the moon. Oh, Tara?" She wrote something for school. Got a ribbon, I think. A ribbon. I got a certificate and a $50 gift card to Chapters. I never told them. I used the gift card to buy a journal. Started writing in it that night. Kept writing for the next 12 years. September 2008. Sloane turned 18. My parents threw her a party at Swiss Chalet, invited the whole extended family. My father gave a speech about excellence and perseverance. Then he handed her the keys to a brand new Honda Civic, grey, $22,000. He said, "This is what happens when you earn it." I turned 15 3 months later, asked about a car. My mother said, "You can borrow the Corolla when your father doesn't need it." The Corolla was a 2001 model with a cracked passenger door that didn't lock. It was never available. I got a part-time job at Shoppers Drug Mart. Walked 45 minutes each way because the bus didn't run that late on weekends. I saved every paycheck, kept the cash in an envelope taped inside my closet wall, behind a poster of Alanis Morissette. By the time I was 17, I stopped asking for anything at all. Sloane went to McGill for undergrad, then medical school at U of T full ride. My parents flew to Toronto 3 times to visit her. They helped her move into her apartment. They edited her application essays. They paid for an MCAT. Tutor $2,800. I applied to 3 schools, Ottawa, Carleton, Laurentian, got into all of them. My parents didn't read a single essay, didn't visit a single campus. When I told them I'd chosen Ottawa, my mother said, "That's practical, Tara." Close to home, not everyone is cut out for medicine. I wanted to throw my laptop across the room. Instead, I said, "Thanks, Mom." Over 4 years, my parents contributed $8,000 towards my tuition. Sloane's total undergrad and med school support came to over $70,000. I worked 22 hours a week at a campus coffee shop. I took out OSAP loans. I graduated with a 3.6 GPA and $74,000 in debt. Sloane graduated debt-free with honors. By the time I crossed that stage in June 2016, I had perfected the art of being invisible. I just hadn't realized yet that invisibility was the most useful skill I'd ever learn. June 18th, 2016. Saturday, 2 p.m. The ceremony was at the Shaw Centre downtown. I walked across the stage, shook the Chancellor's hand, smiled for the camera. I looked out into the audience. Row 12, seats 6 and 7, my father was checking his BlackBerry. My mother was whispering something to my grandmother. Sloane was the only one watching. She waved. My roommate took a photo. You can see me in the background shaking hands. In the foreground, you can see my father's head bent over his phone screen. That night at dinner. Eastside Mario's on Merivale Road. My mother stood up and made her announcement about Sloane's surgical residency. Then the line about me. And Tara finished her degree too. Social work. Very sweet. 12 people laughed. I counted. I left the restaurant at 9:15. Nobody noticed. Sloane texted me at 9:40. "Tara, I'm so sorry. Please call me." I didn't reply. I walked back to my apartment, 3.2 kilometers. My roommate had already moved out. The place was empty. I sat on the bare mattress with my laptop and opened a spreadsheet. I had $4,200 left from my final OAP disbursement. I calculated how long I could last. 3 months, maybe 4 if I ate cheap. I started Googling. Freelance writing, content editing, remote work, anything that didn't require me to be seen. I created a new email address, t.cra.writing@gmail.com. Lacroix was my grandmother's maiden name, the only person in my family who ever told me I was enough. At 11 p.m, Sloane texted again, "Please talk to me." I put my phone face down on the mattress. I didn't cry. I didn't call anyone. I opened a new browser tab and searched how to start a freelance business in Canada. That night, invisibility stopped being my weakness. It became my business plan. July 5th, 2016, I bought a one-way Via Rail ticket to Vancouver. $387 with the youth discount. 2 suitcases, everything I owned. My mother texted me the morning I left. "Where are you going after your lease ends?" I typed West Coast. 4 days of silence. Then okay, let us know if you need anything. She didn't ask which city. Didn't ask for an address. Didn't call. Vancouver felt like breathing for the first time. Nobody knew me. Nobody measured me against Sloane. Nobody expected me to be less than I was. I found a basement suite in East Van through Craigslist, $1,050 a month, which was a steal even then. 1847 Grant Street, Unit B. The ceiling was so low I could touch it if I stood on my toes. The kitchen was a hot plate and a bar fridge. The bathroom had a shower stall, the size of a phone booth. I didn't care, it was mine. I set up my workspace on a folding table from Value Village. Laptop, a second-hand microphone, free editing software. I created profiles on Upwork and Contently, content writing, copy editing, ghostwriting, blog posts, whatever paid. First month, I made $900, not enough for rent. I ate rice and canned lentils 4 nights a week. By December 2016, I'd figured out a niche. Corporate communications, employee newsletters, internal memos, training manuals. Boring work, steady work, $3,800 that month. Sloan called me 19 times between July and December. I answered twice. Both times I kept it under 3 minutes. I'm fine. I'm working. I'll call you later. In October, she left a voicemail. Tara, it's me. I know you're hurt. I don't blame you. But please call me back. Mom and Dad keep asking if I've heard from you. I miss you. I saved the voicemail. Didn't respond. On December 20th, I earned $4,100 in a single month, celebrated by buying a $6 hot chocolate from a cafe on Commercial Drive. Sat on a bench in the rain. I was 1000th time. I wasn't lonely. I was finally free. February 14th, 2017, 8:47 p.m. My phone rang. Ontario area code. I picked up. Tara, thank God. My father's voice shaking. My mother sobbing in the background. It's Sloan. She collapsed at the hospital. They found a tumour. Ovarian. She needs emergency surgery. Emergency procedure, but OHIP doesn't cover the experimental procedure they need. Something about a clinical trial that requires upfront payment. Tara, we need $20,000. My stomach folded in half. 20,000. You've got student loan money saved, right? We know you've been putting money away. Tara, this is life or death. She's your sister. We'll pay you back every cent. I looked at my laptop. My savings account showed $21,300. Every dollar I'd scraped it together in 7 months of 12-hour days. Dad, I don't know if I can, Tara. His voice turned sharp. She's your sister. This is her life. What kind of person would refuse? I closed my eyes, breathed in, breathed out. Okay, I whispered. I'll send it. Thank you. God bless you. We'll pay you back, I swear. The call lasted 26 minutes. He gave me the bank details. I wrote them down with a shaking hand. The next morning, I sent an Interac e-transfer for the maximum daily limit, then wired the rest. $20,000 gone. I had $300 left. 1 month's rent and nothing else. 3 days later, I texted my father. How's Sloan? Did the procedure go well? The message didn't deliver. iMessage turned to SMS. Green bubble. I called my mother. Straight to voicemail. I tried 7 more times over the next 2 days. Then I understood. They'd blocked me. All of them. They took my money and erased me like I was a receipt they didn't need anymore. I sat on the floor of my basement suite and stared at the concrete wall for 2 hours. Then I opened my laptop, created a folder and labelled it Receipts. I saved the wire transfer confirmation, screenshotted every green bubble text, saved the voicemail greeting before it could disappear. I didn't know when I'd need this folder, but I knew I would. February 2017 to October 2024. Almost 8 years. I'll compress it because the arc matters more than every single day. February 19th, 2017. 3 days after sending the money. $1,500 in my account. I changed my phone number, didn't give it to anyone in my family. March 2017, I tried reaching Sloan through the U of T hospital directory. Found her email, sent a message. Are you okay? Please tell me you're okay. It bounced. She'd changed addresses. I stopped trying. I worked. That's all I did. Moved to an even smaller place, $875 a month, a converted garage in New Westminsters. Ate ramen and dal 5 nights a week. Invested every spare dollar in courses, certifications, better software. 2017 income, $41,000. 2018, $68,000. 2019, I pivoted it at strategy consulting, $104,000. 2020, COVID hit. Every company in the country suddenly needed someone who could write clear human communication for a panicking workforce. $156,000. One of my clients, a VP at a Vancouver tech firm, sent me a LinkedIn recommendation. LaCroix Communications delivers flawless work on impossible timelines. I've never met them in person, and I don't need to. The results speak for themselves. I read that and smiled, because that was exactly the point. January 2021, I incorporated LaCroix Strategic Communications Limited, registered in British Columbia. Used my grandmother's name because she was the only family member who ever made me feel like I mattered. Hired my first employee in April, a remote editor in Winnipeg, then a designer, then a project manager. By 2022, I had 6 full-time staff. Revenue crossed 1.4 million. I moved to a proper apartment in Kitsilano in March 2022, $2,100 a month, 2 bedrooms, plants on the windowsill, a desk with 2 monitors, a closet I converted into a recording booth for client presentations. I never showed my face on Zoom, never used my real name publicly. Lacroix had a reputation, Tara Beaulieu had none. That was the point. 2023 revenue, $2.3 million. 2024, $3.6 million. By September 2024, I had 14 employees and 9 contractors. We'd expanded into podcast production, audiobook publishing, and corporate training content. 240 titles in our catalogue, 8 original podcast series. I wasn't hiding anymore. I was building. October 8th, 2024, 3:15 in the afternoon. My business lawyer, Gemma Taggart, called. Tara, Broadleaf Media Group wants to acquire 60% of Lacroix Strategic. I'd just got off the phone with their VP of Acquisitions. I set down my coffee. How much? $11.2 million, $7.3 million to cash up front, $3.9 million earnout over 3 years. You keep 40% equity and stay on as Chief Creative Officer. Base salary $210,000 annually. I didn't say anything for a long time. Tara? You there? I'm here. Tell them yes. I signed the term sheet on October 11th. Due diligence began immediately. The acquiring company's legal team was based in Toronto. The firm handling the file was Barrett Langford LLP. Sloan worked there. October 14th, 2024, Monday morning, 11:20. I was making coffee when I heard the knock. I looked through the peephole and my chest locked. Older, tired, dark circles I'd never seen before. She wore a grey blazer and black slacks. Her hair was shorter. She held a paper Tim Hortons cup half empty. Tara, it's me. Her voice cracked through the door. I know you probably don't want to see me. I just need to know you're alive. Please. I stood there for 15 seconds, hand on the deadbolt. Then I opened the door. She stared at me like I was a hallucination. Hi, she said. Hi. She glanced past me into the apartment. The monitors, the bookshelves, the plants. Can I come in? I didn't move. Why are you here? Mom. And Dad asked me to check on you. They said you stopped returning 30 years ago. They've been worried sick. I almost laughed out loud. They blocked me 8 years ago. 2 days after I wired them $20,000. What calls? Her face went completely blank. What? I told her everything, the phone call. February 14th, 2017. Dad's voice cracking. Sloan's collapsed, tumour, ovarian, emergency surgery, $20,000, life or death. I told her every I had. I sent every penny I had. That 3 days later, every number was blocked, that I tried to reach her through the hospital. Sloan's hands were shaking. Tara. I never had surgery. I never had a tumour. In February 2017, I was doing a rotation in pediatrics. I wasn't even sick. I sprained my wrist playing squash that month. That's it. The room went silent. They used your name, I said, to steal from me. Sloan pulled out her phone, opened her calendar, scrolled back. February 2017, pediatrics rotation, sick kids squash league Tuesday, no surgery, no hospital admission. Oh my God, she whispered. I need you to prove it, I said. Not because I don't believe you, I need documentation. Sloan nodded. Her eyes were wet. I'll request my medical records from OHIP tonight. She left at 9 p.m, booked a hotel on Robson Street. At 10:15, she texted me. I'm requesting everything. Every record from 2017. I'll prove what I already know is true. I'm sorry, Tara. I'm so sorry. I saved the text in the folder. October 21st. Sloan sent me a PDF. Her OHIP records from January to June 2017. No surgical procedures. No oncology referrals. No emergency room visits. 1 walk-in appointment for a wrist x-ray on February 22nd. Normal results. She texted. Nothing. No surgery. No tumour. They invented the whole thing. I typed back. I know. Another text. I want to call them right now. I replied immediately. Don't. Not yet. If you confront them now, they'll make up a story and you'll never get the truth. We need more. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared. Okay. But Tara, I'm falling apart. I know. But we wait. Sloan didn't just wait. She dug. Over 2 weeks, she pulled property records from the Ontario Land Registry, called family friends in Ottawa under the pretense of catching up, and cross-referenced what she found with public court filings. November 3rd, she sent me a long text. Tara, I found out why they needed money. Dad has a gambling problem. Online poker, Casino du Lac Limi, sports betting apps. They've refinanced the house twice. Original mortgage in 2001, $210,000. Current balance, $387,000. The house is maybe worth $340,000. They're underwater by almost $50,000. Credit card debt, $34,000. Private loans from people I've never heard of, estimated $80,000. Total debt, over $160,000. They're drowning. I read it twice. Type back, that's not my problem. But I knew they wouldn't stop. November 15th, 2024. Sloan was at work. Barrett Langford LLP. Corporate M&A Division. A senior partner dropped a new file on her desk. Broadleaf Media Acquisition. Target company is Lacroix Strategic Communications, BC-based. Review the incorporation docs. Sloan opened the file. Registered agent address, 2240 West 4th Avenue, Unit 8, Vancouver, BC. She froze. That was my postal code. She turned to the next page. Found T. Lacroix. She searched it. T. Lacroix, anonymous communications entrepreneur, industry profiles, estimated company value $8 million. Then she put it together. Tara Lacroix, our grandmother's name. She called me at 6 that evening. Tara, you're T. Lacroix. Silence. How did you? I'm working on your acquisition file, the Broadleaf deal. I saw everything. Tara, you built this. You built an $8 million company, and they have no idea. I didn't say anything. Why didn't you tell me? Because the last time I trusted this family with money, I lost everything. Why would I do it again? Long pause. You thought I'd tell them. Wouldn't you have? She was quiet. Then, 8 years ago, maybe. Now, never. December 2nd, 2024. My parents made their move. Sloan forwarded me a text from our mother. Sloan, we need to talk about Tara. It's urgent. Your father is in serious trouble. Sloan drove to Vancouver. We met at a cafe on Main Street. Matchstick coffee. She ordered nothing. I ordered a flat white. Fat. $5.50. They're coming for you, she said. When I say no, they'll go around me. Let them. December 5th. Our mother called Sloan 11 times. Texted 27 times. Sloan didn't answer. December 8th, Sunday morning, 7:30. Sloan's buzzer rang at her Toronto condo. Both parents at the door. You've seen her, haven't you? My mother's voice was sharp. What did she say? She's been turning you against us. Sloan didn't let them in. She didn't have to turn me against you, Sloan said. I pulled my own medical records. There was no surgery in 2017. You lied to her. You stole $20,000 using my name. My father stepped forward. We borrowed money from family. People do that. She's the one who abandoned us. Get out, Sloan said. Sloan, get out of my building. They left. At 8:15, my mother texted Sloan, you're choosing her over your own parents. You'll regret this. Sloan forwarded it to me. I saved it. By December 15th, Sloan had the full picture. My father had been let go from Manulife in 2021. They'd caught him placing bets during work hours using his company laptop. He'd been working part-time at a Canadian Tire in Barhaven since then. $17.50 an hour. The house was underwater, credit cards max, collections calling daily. Total debt, over $160,000. December 20th. My parents hired someone to find me. Not a proper PI. Just some guy from Kijiji charging $700. He was sloppy. One of my employees got a strange LinkedIn message from a freelance journalist asking about Lacroix Strategic's founder. She flagged it in our team Slack. I knew immediately. By January 6th, 2025, he'd found what he was looking for. He sent my father an email. Subject line, investigation results, Tara Beaulieu. The body confirmed I operated Lacroix Strategic under the alias T. Lacroix. Company valued at $8 million plus, pending acquisition. Your daughter has significant resources. Recommend direct approach. January 8th, 2025. 9:22 p.m. My mother left me a voicemail. First time I'd heard her voice in 8 years. Cold. No tears. Tara, we know about your company. $8 million. You've been hiding this while your father and I suffer. We're your parents. We raised you. You owe us everything you have. Help us or everyone. Your employees, your clients, your business partners will know what kind of ungrateful, selfish daughter you really are. You have 1 week. At 9:58, my father sent an email. Subject: Family responsibility, Tara. We are in a difficult financial situation due to circumstances beyond our control. As our daughter, you have a moral and potentially legal obligation to provide parental support under Canadian family law. We are requesting $100,000 to resolve immediate debts. Failure to cooperate will result in us pursuing all available legal remedies, including a parental support claim under the Ontario Family Law Act and public disclosure of your true identity to your business partners. I saved both, forwarded them to Sloan and them to Gemma, my lawyer. Then I called Sloan. They just threatened me. In writing. I know. I got your forward. Sloan, this is extortion. I know. I can end this. Long pause, then she said, do it. January 10th, 2025. I met Gemma Taggart at her office in downtown Vancouver, brought my laptop and a USB drive. I opened the folder labeled Receipts. She spent 2.5 hours reviewing everything. The wire transfer receipt, February 15th, 2017, 20,000ers. The voicemail transcript, Dad's voice. Sloan collapsed, tumor, life or death. Screenshots of blocked contacts, green bubbles, proof of erasure. Sloan's OHIP medical records. No surgery, no tumor, no oncology, nothing. The January 8th voicemail from my mother. Textbook extortion, my father's email, threats in writing. Sloan's recordings from the December 8th doorstep confrontation. The investigator's LinkedIn messages to my employee. A timeline I'd been maintaining since 2017. Every date, every interaction, every detail. Gemma leaned back. Tara, this is airtight. The voicemail alone is criminal harassment and extortion under the criminal code. The fake medical emergency is fraud. The parental support claim under the Family Law Act requires proof of need and a demonstrated relationship of dependency, neither of which they can establish. They have nothing. You have everything. I don't want to destroy them, I said. I just want them gone. Then we make it crystal clear. Silence or consequences. January 15th, I met Sloan at a cafe in Gastown. Revolve Coffee. I slid a USB drive across the table. Copy of everything in case anything happens to me. Sloan held it like it weighed 100 pounds. They won't stop. I know. Good, she said, because I'm ready. February 1st, 2025. My parents filed a parental support application with the Ontario Superior Court of Justice. They claimed I had abandoned them, refused all contact, and had substantial means to provide financial support. They cited the Family Law Act, Section 32. February 3rd. Gemma responded with a motion to dismiss. Attached. 8 years of evidence. The fraud. The extortion. The blocked contacts proving they initiated the estrangement, not me. Sloan's medical records proving the entire basis for the $20,000 was fabricated. February 10th. Their application was dismissed. The judge's endorsement read, "The applicants have not demonstrated a relationship warranting support and appear to have engaged in conduct that undermines the credibility of their claim." Their lawyer sent Gemma an email that afternoon asking if we'd consider as a resolution. Gemma sent back a 53-page cease and desist package. Pages 1 to 4, overview of 2017 fraud. Pages 5 to 15, timeline of harassment. Pages 16 to 25, evidence exhibits. Pages 26 to 40, legal analysis under the Criminal Code and Ontario Family Law Act. Pages 41 to 51, Sloan's testimony, recordings and medical records. Pages 52 to 53, the demand. The final paragraph, any further contact with Ms. Beaulieu, her family members, her employees, or her business associates will result in the immediate filing of criminal fraud and extortion charges with the RCMP and the Ottawa Police Service, and civil claims for damages exceeding $750,000. You have 72 hours to confirm, in writing, that all contact will cease permanently. Failure to comply will be met with the full extent of legal action available under Canadian law. 3 days of silence. I almost believed it was over. Then on February 14th, exactly 8 years to the day since they'd called me begging for money, my father called. I stared at the screen, answered, "Tara, please, can we just talk? Like a family? You stole $20,000 from me using a fake medical emergency about my own sister. Then you blocked me for 8 years. Then you threatened to destroy my business. What is left to talk about? It wasn't like that. We can explain. Fine. Tomorrow, 10 a.m., Tim Hortons on Bank Street, Ottawa. Sloane will be there. I'm recording everything. Long pause. Okay. February 15th, 2025. 10:05 a.m., Tim Hortons, Bank Street, Ottawa. Sloane was already seated when I arrived, corner table. 2 phones on the table, both recording. My parents walked in at 10:12, late. My mother's eyes were swollen. My father's hands trembled. They sat down. Tara, sweetheart, we've missed you so much. I cut her off. Stop. I'm saying this once. I placed my phone on the table, recording indicator visible. In February 2017, you called me. You told me Sloane had a tumor and needed emergency surgery. You asked for $20,000. I sent it. Every dollar I had. 3 days later, you blocked my number. Sloane never had surgery. She never had a tumor. You fabricated a medical emergency to steal from your own daughter. Then last month, you threatened to expose my identity to my business partners if I didn't give you $100,000. That is extortion. I have every voicemail, every email, every text, and every piece of Sloane's medical history. My lawyer has copies. So does Sloane. I slid a printed copy of Gemma's 53-page letter across the table. My father's face drained. We borrowed from family, that's normal. Families help each other. You lied about your daughter dying. You blocked me when I asked how she was. That's not borrowing. That's fraud. My mother looked up from the papers. You're going to ruin us? Your own parents? Sloane spoke before I could. You ruined yourself. She's just refusing to pay for the damage. My father turned on her. You're siding with her. After everything I pulled my own medical records, Sloane said. Her voice was flat, clinical, the surgeon in her. There was no surgery in 2017. You used my name to defraud my sister. I'm done pretending that didn't happen. My mother started crying. My father's voice cracked. You're really going to tear this family apart over money? I looked him in the eye. You tore this family apart in 2016 when you made my graduation about Sloane. You tore it further in 2017 when you stole from me. You finished it last month when you tried to extort me. I didn't do any of this. You did. I'm just making sure you can never do it to anyone else. I stood up. Sloane stood with me. You have the letter. Read every page. You have 72 hours to confirm in writing that you will never contact me, Sloane, my employees, or anyone connected to me again. If I don't receive confirmation by Monday morning, I file charges Tuesday. I picked up my phone. Sloane, let's go. We walked out. They didn't follow. Sloane drove. We didn't speak for 10 minutes. Then she said, that was the hardest thing I've ever done. Me too. She reached over and squeezed my hand. We drove to the airport in silence. For the first time in 8 years, I didn't feel alone. February 17th, 2025. 1:14 p.m. Gemma forwarded me an email from a lawyer in Ottawa. Subject: Recease and desist. Beaulieu matter. My clients accept all terms. They will cease contact with Ms. Beaulieu effective immediately and withdraw all claims. They request that this matter remain private. Gemma's note at the bottom. They folded. It's over. I read the email 3 times. Then I closed my laptop and cried for the first time in 8 years. Not from sadness, from relief. February 24th, the Broadleaf acquisition closed. 7.3 million landed in my TD business account. I stared at the number. Then I texted Sloane. Deal's done, she replied. How do you feel? I typed, rich and exhausted. Mostly exhausted. You earned every cent of it, Tara. That night, I went to dinner alone at a restaurant on West 4th, ordered the most expensive thing on the menu, tipped 50%, walked home in the rain, smiled the entire way. March 1st. Sloane flew to Vancouver. I met her at a cafe and handed her an envelope. Inside, a check for $20,000. This is the money they stole using your name. I'm giving it to you. Not because you need it. Because it was never about the money. Sloane started crying. Tara, I can't take this. It's not a gift, it's a closing. They used your name to hurt me. I'm using your name to end it. Take it. Do something good with it. She took the check, then she hugged me. Not the polite one-armed hug from childhood. A real one, both arms. Tight. I'm sorry I wasn't there sooner, she whispered. You're here now, I said. That's enough. March 15th, a card arrived in the mail. Sloane's handwriting. Tara, thank you for not giving up on me, even when I didn't deserve it. I'm proud to be your sister, proud of everything you've built. Here's to what comes next. S. I stuck it on my fridge with a magnet, first decoration in that apartment. No card from my parents, no call, no text. Just silence. That silence used to terrify me. Now it sounds like peace. It's March 2025. I'm 31 years old. I run a company worth millions. I have a sister who finally sees me, and I haven't heard from my parents in 6 weeks. I don't think I ever will again. In June 2016, my mother told a room full of people that I'd finished my degree, and it was very sweet. Like I was a footnote in someone else's story. It took me almost 9 years, but I wrote my own story. Turns out I'm very good at that. They wanted me to disappear. I did, just not the way they expected. They wanted me to be invisible. I was. And I used it to build something they'll never be able to touch. And that, more than anything, is the best revenge I could have ever asked for.